Today we're going to talk about preparing for an appraisal. An appraisal happens when the bank needs to come out and verify that the price that the buyer is looking to pay is in fact what the property is worth. So they send out a third-party company to take a look inside the property and give their best shot at what they think it's worth. This is very important that the appraisal happens and that the house appraises. If not, it could potentially torpedo the deal. So how do we make sure the property is going to appraise? What we like to do is do our homework, create a little report and hand it to the appraiser. So this is what you're going to do. The first thing you want to do is write up about 2 paragraphs about the subject property. You just want to emphasize the selling points and key features of the home. The next thing you're going to do is pull 3 to 6 comparable sales within a mile radius of the subject property. And you're going to use those comps to compare to the property you are currently having that you currently have under contract. Now, what you're going to do below the 2 paragraphs you just wrote about the property is compare them. So you're going to say Exhibit A, which let's say is the first comp, and you're going to list the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the lot size of Exhibit A, along with the listing price and the selling price, and the date of it closed, and you compare that to your subject property and see how they compare. Then you do the same thing for Exhibit B, Exhibit C. And again, you want to pull 3 to 6 comparables because the appraiser is going to use at least 3. So the more you present to the appraiser, the better. Now, when this is done, what you do is you write up this 1-page document to the appraiser. You put the comps behind it, and then the day of the appraisal, you just hand it over to the appraiser and say, hey, I just wrote up this report. These are some comparable sales in the area. I hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, please let me know. We'd love to help you. Now, some appraisers, they might not like it, but the majority that I've dealt with, they're really happy and grateful that you gave that to them. Sometimes they're struggling to find a comp or a good comp. And in some cases, you could have saved the deal, so to speak. Now, it's not foolproof. I've still had appraisals come back horribly off, even though we've essentially done all the heavy lifting. So it's not foolproof, but when you do it, it should also make you feel good about the price of the home because you're doing the homework, you're pulling the comps, and as you're doing this, you're saying, okay, yeah, this house is worth that. Another quick note, you might also want to reach out to the listing agent and say, hey, I'm writing up a report for the appraiser. Could you help me with some comps in the area? And a good listing agent will help you with that because they want the property to appraise too. At the end of the day, both sides want the property to appraise so we could get to closing, okay? So again, to summarize, you want to write 2 paragraphs about the subject property, then underneath put your exhibits, Exhibit A, B, C, D, etc., and explain the differences between the comparable property and the subject property. And if you do this, it's going to make you feel really prepared and hopefully get you past the finish line with the appraisal process.